like to start this show by asking you this question. If you had the power to change the world right this moment, what would you change? I'll give you some time to ponder on it, Mike.
Now, of course, you can be a part of that, sending your answers via social media. Use the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC. Welcome to 2 hours, 45 minutes of top-notch, premium, numero uno family entertainment. Wake Up Nigeria.
It is. Every edition of the show promises to be a legendary and unforgettable experience.
Of course, let's hit the ground running. I am Mike Mesikenor.
And I am Tope Olowoniyan.
Now you can stream with us. It's at tvcentertainment.tv. Facebook is at TVC Connect. Use the hashtag Wake Up Nigeria on TVC, like I had mentioned earlier. If you want to comment and if you want to be a part of this show, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. That's how you do it.
I mean, it would be an absolute delight to know what you've been up to. For those of you who have resumed work, how has it been? How do you get to the office? Have you do you actually go 9 a.m. and close 2 p.m.?
And the curfew, right?
Yes, and the curfew. I hope you've not been caught during this curfew period.
I know one or two people that have been caught and all
Oh
that.
my days.
What happens is that, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, when the market's supposed to open, you have more of traffic, more of people moving out than maybe Tuesdays and Thursdays. So, but hey, come on, let's know what your what it is like around you, especially when it comes to the curfew and all of that. They've been locking down bars. For those of you that love chilling out of bars and all that, be careful, man, they don't pick you up.
They'll not catch you.
They'll hold you. Now, of course, you can also watch us via our app. Download it, and anywhere around the world, once you have internet connection, it's available to you. And wonderful, great singers. They know they are good at what they do. Talking about being good at what you do. There's something I was going through yesterday. I said in these times when people are, you hear of people losing jobs, you hear of people, someone said it's not just okay to be just good at what you are. You have to add a bit more to that. You have to be able to work in a team. You have to be able to not just getting the best from yourself, also learn how to get the best from other people. Because you just need to go the extra mile, which is valid, very valid. At the same time, like I still mention, like I always say, this is the time to reach out to people.
True.
Those that are around you, whether you do it on social media, whether you show people or not, or the point is that you are doing something. So I don't have an issue with whether you are carrying the cameras to show that you are giving, or you're not carrying the cameras. My point is you are giving. So what rocks your boat?
Those people that give and they record it like
why should I? I wouldn't do it, but I don't have a problem with them. I don't. Like, that's their own way. That's how they find it. The point is they are giving. Isn't that's just the thing. If they give it and then the camera goes on, they take it back. That's where there's probably a problem. But for a lot of people, I mean, people really, for a lot of people, when the cameras come on, that their ginger comes on to give. And so that's just it. That's just it. So for me, I don't really have a problem with that.
I feel some type of way sometimes when I see it. But like, it's good that they give, but it just feels like it's now becoming more of a show than the actual act of giving. I think I have the problem with the way they always arrange the people to give them. Like, record yourselves, but and record the things you're giving. Probably record like the local government area, but you don't have to record the people because it just looks like you're trying to reduce them because they don't have. Like, if they had, do you think they want to be on air?
It seems like that sometimes, but hey, you're about to take the news, right?
Yes, I am.
All right.
More than 4 months after a pandemic that has no cure yet, many countries are seeking quick steps that can flatten the ever-rising curve. Nigeria is not left out. The Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 has confirmed news reports that the country will soon take delivery of the herbal cure for coronavirus from Madagascar to test its efficiency. This is part of today's briefing, which senior correspondent Femi Akonde covered and now reports.
The cure for the novel coronavirus might just come in handy as the federal government reveals that the freight of the herbal cure of the virus from Madagascar will soon arrive the country. But there is an express instruction from President Muhammadu Buhari to thoroughly test this herbal medicine that is reported to have cured many confirmed cases of the virus in the island country. This might have raised the hopes of many patients in isolation centers across the country.
We have an indication of the quantity that has been allocated to Nigeria. and we are supposed to make arrangements to freight it out of Guinea-Bissau to Nigeria. I've received instructions from Mr. President to make arrangements to freight it home, with a clear instruction that I should subject it to the validation process, similar to what would happen to any other medicine or syrup or vaccine that is discovered or created internally.
Things like that are subjected to analysis to find out what works in there, how it works, and the use in getting a cure. Obviously, all countries in the world are interested in finding a cure, and we are not different. So we look at all possibilities, all options, all promises that are made. We examine them, but before we give them to our people, we make sure that they're actually safe, and then we make sure that they work.
There are currently 21 functioning testing labs across Nigeria, but fewer bed spaces to take in confirmed positive cases detected in these molecular laboratories. The Presidential Task Force have now asked governors to take advantage of donations from the Conference of Catholic Bishops and all other goodwill donation pouring in to support the National Response Plan to COVID-19. Health authorities say the priority for now, in the effort to flatten the curve of transmission, should be prevention, detection, and care.
Right now, we are pushing very hard. Every day we keep pushing on prevention and asking Nigerians to take responsibility. We keep pushing to improve detection, i.e. improve our laboratory capacity, and like you can see from the results, we're improving every day. And now we keep changing and improving our care capacity. How do we provide increasing such large numbers of people the care that they need, both for themselves but also to prevent transmission in their communities. So none of this is an exact science. Everybody in the world is learning. We are learning too, adapting every day.
I must emphasize the need for state governments to please continue to identify spaces for isolation of persons diagnosed positive with COVID. It's particularly important that we start considering unusual situations, environments such as schools, academic institutions, and even abandoned buildings, because we definitely need to build our isolation capacity.
There was also a strong warning from the Presidential Task Force to patients who have become hostile and attack health workers in the line of duty. In the coming weeks, as a gradual and phased easing of the lockdown progress, there will be an introduction of inclusive policies that recognizes the role of community ownership, guidance, acceptance, and implementation. Femi Akonde, TVC News, Abuja.
The Lagos State government has decentralized testing centers in 20 local government areas. Residents can now walk into any of these centers to get tested for the COVID-19. Visitors subjected to protocols of decontamination. Lagos being the epicenter of the coronavirus in Nigeria, with cases increasing every day. Governor of Lagos State Babajide Sanwo-Olu, at his 11th press briefing on COVID-19, reeled out the efforts of his administration and attributed the rise to the ramping up of testing centers in the state. One of such test centers is this one located in Ogudu-Kosofe local government area of Lagos State. This center has a testing capacity of 200 and can be ramped up to a higher figure. This center is also involved in community sampling and testing. The team of professional health workers is saddled with the responsibility of touring the locality daily to collect samples for testing. Arriving here, we had to follow protocol. This requires meeting the decontamination team. From there, one is expected to wash their hands with soap. Explaining the different aspects of their operations, the medical director of the local government, Dr. Oguntuase, took us around the facility. The government has to decentralize testing now that the virus is at level 3. This is the level of containment of community transmission, which many say is a huge task. But Dr. Oguntuase asks Nigerians to take advantage of the availability of test centers to know their COVID-19 status to stay safe. Well, that's it on News Update for this hour. We'll take a break.
We'd love to see that. That's it on sports. Now, let's take a look at the headlines in the papers this morning.
Thank you very much, Mike. Today is Tuesday, the 12th of May, and starting with the headlines on the cover of The Punch. COVID organic to be used when confirmed safe working, PTF. Federal government WHO carrying out drugs trial in FCT. Lagos, Kano, others. NCDC asks private laboratories to test suspected Nigerians free. There's a photo story here showing offenders whose vehicle were impounded for violating the lockdown order of the Lagos State government during their prosecution at the Lagos State Task Force office at Oshodi in Lagos on Monday. Also, we have agency intercepts trucks with 30 almajiri in Ogun. You can see that on page 7. Court orders for feature of ex-presidential fleet commanders of 510 million naira. Osibanjo now chairs our group Association of Short People, El Rufai. 4 to die by hanging for murder in Ekiti. Air Force men lead hoodlums to demolish Lagos buildings. With no court order to release Orji Kalu, NCOS. At the top of the paper, we have COVID-19 will worsen Nigeria's debt situation, says NESG. Reps set modalities for NCDC bill public hearing. Egbe 10 power plants suffer gas shortage. This and more on the Punch newspaper today. Moving on to The Nation, we have WHO to begin drug trial in Lagos, Ogun, FCT and others. Buhari okays collection of Madagascar's cure drug. Minister, island nation's herbal drug plant in Nigeria. There's a photo story here showing sympathizers at the scene of a burning petrol station at Elebu in Ibadan yesterday. There's also a clear analysis of the COVID-19 global cases, death and recoveries. At the top of the paper, we have 7 billion naira fraud conviction, no release order for Kalu. Also, we have convert Catholic hospitals, others to isolation centers. Lastly, we have why employers must get stimulus by NLC and TUC, give jobs priority. This and more in the Nation newspaper today. Moving on to the Vanguard, we have COVID-19. Federal government okays 5 states FCT for WHO's clinical trials. A photo story here shows customers struggle to access banking hall for transactions at Iju, Lagos branch of a bank yesterday. Also, we have Ganduje blast critics of Kano lockdown relaxation. Ex-Benue federal lawmaker tests positive to COVID-19. Ortom to undergo second test for the virus. At the top of the paper, we have Lagos doctor tests positive for COVID-19 in Osun as Ondo records first casualty. Why I sold my baby for 130,000 naira, says an orphan. We haven't issued 5G licenses, NCC insists. Why we are still holding Kalu, prisons services. Lastly, Wike demolished hotel owner in war of words. This and more in Vanguard newspaper today. Moving on to Nigerian Tribune. This morning we have, we will vigorously monitor use of $3.4 billion IMF loan, COVID-19 donations to hold 2-day public hearing on infectious disease bill. CSO's call for probe of alleged diversion of palliatives, conditional cash transfer. Amotekun, Lagos Assembly passes Neighborhood Safety Corps bill into law. Ekiti Assembly confirms board chairman commanders, others. Troop kills 17 bandits in Kaduna. Alleged fraud. Court orders for feature of 150 million naira belonging to AVM Ebong. A photo story here shows traffic at Idumota, Lagos State on Monday. COVID-19, Nigeria to analyze Madagascar syrup for local use. Says patients' threats to health workers' lives worrisome. We have tested 27,078, says Minister. Lagos, Sokoto, Ekiti, Kano discharge 45. Catholic Church offers 425 hospitals as isolation centers. You can see this and more in Nigerian Tribune newspaper today. That's all we can take for our newspaper headlines. We'll go on a break and Wake Up Nigeria continues. That was a lovely, inspiring music from Asha. And her songs always, they don't come up as commercial. They always come up as, why are you already doing like that?
Give us some Zlatan this morning.
Wow. No, please, I'm in an Asha mood. That was very good for this morning.
That brings, it is said that a prophet is not recognized in his home, right? So, you know that Asha is someone that had quite a lot of acclaim outside before we even started taking her more serious here. In France and in Belgium, her music had gone very far and all of that. But yes and no to the statement that the prophet is not recognized in this town, because it's not music that we're really we want to vibe to and we're used to. And you see, you don't criticize. I know there are a lot of people that criticize people for their music preferences. You know, they come and say, no, this is real music. What makes something real music?
To you, it doesn't make you real to
yeah, exactly. When it goes like, when you hear somebody say, who's your favorite artist? Say, I love, okay, let's say for instance, I love The Weeknd. Say, oh God, you be music, you get ear for music. Yeah. And then somebody comes and says,
I love Naira Marley.
And they say, nonsense.
Is that music?
You know, music is, I don't know, expression. It is...
What resonates with you, really?
Interaction, yes. What resonates with you. And at different times, you know, what comes to you, different feels. So, you know, and then sometimes we don't want to be too deep when it's music. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool that music gets you into a kind of mood. So there's worship music if you're in the church.
You live in the church.
No, I'm just saying, for example, there's carnival music or there's party music. You know, it gets you into different moods. But there are times when you just want to chill and want to relax. You don't want to think. So for us, most times, I mean, different cities are different. I mean, if you're in Lagos and you had the very rough day or something, exactly, you come back. I don't want to hear... I don't want to hear things like, I walk. I don't want to hear something deep like, I don't want to hear some, I don't want to. See now, that's just all. I just want to move to the beat. So you need to understand, because we are a show that we have a lot of artists upcoming. So there's quite a lot that we understand about the music industry. A lot of artists come up and tell that, I love R&B, but I found that the market likes this is not the real me.
Yes, that's not what the market.
You have to find a balance.
But I think Nigeria has started becoming open to different genres of music, like the Ote community. I remember when we had Johnny Drill start up, a lot of people were like, "How will he survive? Will he survive?" And then now a lot of artists that sound like him are beginning to be more appreciated because people are beginning to not just like Afrobeats, but there's sometimes they don't feel like hearing Afrobeats, but they just want to be in a zone. And I like the fact that our minds are getting open to different genres. And
one thing that has helped those guys is the digitalization of music. So when music has gone digital, so that means I can release a song and somebody in Alabama or in Alaska can get it the same time I get it. The person can interact with me. The person can, you know, encourage me. So it's.
And you see people making videos, singing to songs, making all those dance challenges, and you see a lot of people who aren't even Nigerians jumping on it, and I can imagine how it encourages the artists.
Exactly. So that's big when you put it out there, and then you know, like we said, when we did encourage you, so and then like it still boils down. When we now see other people appreciate them, we tend to appreciate, and it's not a bad thing anyway. So just let us with that choice of music. If you want to hear, you want to feel that. Feel it and all of that. Just let it be, you know.
No judgment at all. No judgment at all.
So let's know what you think. What's your preference when it comes to music? What do you think about music generally? Because, okay, so it gets me through. You're on the road or something, or you're driving or something. It gets you through, you know. And that's, I don't know, it just gets you through. And then for some things you want to do, it puts you in some kind of mood. That's why there's workout music.
Yes.
You know.
Do you know mine can be so bad that when I'm working out, when I'm jogging, especially, when the music stops, like just to go to the next song, doesn't I realize I'm tired? I was like,
oh wow,
I'm tired. But the moment the next song comes up, so I have like a jogging playlist because it's fast paced, so it makes me keep going. And the moment, you see, if we just switches. I'll just be like, what's going on here?
But I hope you jog in a confined place. Don't gonna be
Oh
jogging
no, I don't
somewhere.
mean that. My
And
dear,
there'll be-
lockdown.
No, it's not even a lockdown. So no, it's not even a lockdown. At least you're out. You're allowed. It's been eased,
See, my
so you
dear,
can
me,
move
I'm on
around.
lockdown.
You
I'm
can move around. You can jog.
I'm not
your own.
moving.
My point is that a lot of people, you visit a lot of people when they put up the earphones and then they can't hear the surrounding, the environment. So maybe let's say somebody is driving behind you or something, and then you are forming.
No, but we bridge joggers. We bridge joggers that we know ourselves that we jog on the Ikoyi bridge. You know, there are lots of things that happen on that bridge.
Okay.
People find their husbands, people find their wives, people find contracts.
On
that bridge is the bridge where dreams come alive.
Are you serious?
Don't quote me.
So where I said it to. So if you are looking for a better half or you're trying to hit that contract, you just jump on the Ikoyi bridge.
Go and check if the CEO of that company jogs on the link bridge. Just go and jog. They say, would you like a bottle of water? What? I have water.
You're not carrying water for anybody you don't see and drink.
You know, the person that say, oh, thank you so much. What's your name? My name is Mike. Oh, I have this contract. You don't know. It can just happen from there.
What if there's scoop no me inside the water?
Who is this one? I beg. Could be this one. I say, go and shoot your shot.
When they shoot your shot, you just make the person just stop jogging there. There's a way you just shoot the shots, you injure the person.
Say, who be this? Who be this?
And the person stops jogging
there.
there.
Be jogging with your business cards. You just say, call me and continue. Call me.
It's not a bad idea anyway.
You don't know who will call. Somebody will just
idea.
call. I saw a thread on Twitter, and the person said, how many of you have slid into that DM this period? And a girl said she did, and she can't believe the guy responded, because this is somebody that on a normal day will not look at her side. I don't know who you will not look at your side on a normal day. But so, just like I said, if you cannot jog, slide into the DM. A lot of people are available. They're not doing anything. They are checking their DMs. They want something interesting. Slide into Mike's DM too.
So,
Mike
talking about sliding into DMs, you see, there's an etiquette.
Yes, there's slide into DM.
Yes, that's why you do it. Don't go and send a message and just say hi.
Oh, no, of course.
That,
that
and I'm waiting for a response.
Hi.
Just hi, and you're waiting for a response.
Say everything.
And say hello. And
don't say I've seen you in my dream.
Say good morning.
Don't say I've seen you in my dream.
No, straight up. Let me give you an example. Contract. Let's use contract. We'll do two examples. We'll do contracts.
We'll do relationship.
Contract. Or business. Hello at I am. You have to introduce yourself.
But
hello,
this is not comment section, shall
we? Yeah, DM. Hello, good morning, da da da. I am da da da. I saw da da da, or I am interested in da da da, that I saw da da da. I think I'll be a good fit for this, da 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 da. I've done this, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this, and I have done that. You can, if you know, you can, exactly, you put the links there, and then of course, you can contact me if this interests you. Thank you. Everything in one message.
Yes.
In one message, because nobody,
messages.
in one message. Same thing.
And also, including, just to add up to his message, even if they didn't put up an ad for an opening, you could also say, I can render this service to you. I believe I have the capacity to do A, B, C, and D for your company. And I believe that my presence in your company can take your business to the next level.
That is giving lyrics.
Can take your company to the next level. And I believe that with this, and this that I have to offer, I can see a projection of this, this, and this. No, see, don't just give them one word. Tell them what you think, the percentage of the increase in the financial. See, just go very slow so that you know that this one is ready.
He's ready to do something. So the point is just go straight up. Just go put everything in one message maximum, and so that the person knows nobody has time to be responding to hi, hello. Same thing for your relationship, or you want to hit up, go hi. You don't go hello, hi, and then stop. No. Hello, good afternoon, da da da. I am da 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 da. I saw your pictures, and I like the way you look.
I don't like when the guy says, I saw your picture and I like the way you look.
Calm down. I'm giving you, that's one sample. Where do you want to start? It's not pictures you saw first. Be truthful. Don't stand.
I'm not saying you should lie.
You started somewhere. You started somewhere. If somebody has not seen you, I'm just looking at you, just see a lady's picture. How did you come in contact with her? Is it through your spirit?
Your timeline is interesting.
It's the same thing. Semantics. You want the guy to say, the Spirit of the Lord revealed to me. I said that. You don't see that. You don't see no shooting of shots.
You sent me to bring good news to the party.
The Spirit of the Lord spoke to me that
please leave
both
God
of us
out
shall become one.
Leave God out of this.
Just do your God did not send you.
As you talk to me directly, leave God alone.
So just straight up, you want to show, just straight up, what do you like? Say, I like this, da about you, and hey, come on.
I'm at this point of my life where I think I want to go to the next level, and from what I'm seeing, I think we'll be a good fit. Please let me know if you're interested.
Good morning. If you are just joining us, well, it's great to have you. And if you've been with us, welcome back. It's the second lap of Wake Up Nigeria. It's great to have you.
Now, as you know, we are a breath of fresh air, refreshment, and the only breakfast show that offers you a variety of top-notch family entertainment.
Definitely. Things are definitely on their way to getting back to normal fully.
Yes.
But then, hey, come on, are you ready for the new normal? Now, that will be a total 360 perception change. You have to think virtual these days.
Yes,
you just have to think virtual these days. Not everything has to be physical. Now we know that in every meeting, you don't have to attend.
Be physically
every
present at every
and
meeting.
all of that.
Yes.
And that's where the world is going. That's where the world is now.
Yes, now we have to ease on the movement. Isn't the end, now this isn't the end of the virus. Stay safe. We do hope the virus disappears soon, to be honest. If you don't have to be out there, stay at home. And if you go out, maintain social distancing. Wash your hands as many times as you can. Trust me, no amount of time is too much. I'm sure by now we're used to not shaking people, no unnecessary hugs. Everybody, stay on your lane and stay on my lane.
Now, of course, it's great to have you. My name is Mesikenor.
And I am Tope Olowoniyan. Stream with us live at tvcentertainment.tv and on Facebook at TVC Connect.
Download our app and interact with us and watch us anywhere around the world once you have internet connection.
Yes, internet connection is very important. Now we're moving on to what we have for you this hour of the show.
Of course, health. Dr. Dibia Edward, who is a dentist, will be here to talk to us via Skype about managing dental pain while you are at home.
And one of my most interesting and favorite segments is 180 seconds around the world. We're going to Victoria and Alfred Waterfront, South Africa. A very, very, very lovely place to visit.
It is time to go on a 180 seconds travel to one of the most popular tourist sites in Southern Africa.
And of course, Clara Kolade, who will be here to talk to us via Skype also about peer pressure, how to deal with peer pressure in teenagers.
Ifeyinwa Omesiete is a certified nutritionist. Now she is going to be sharing with us different ways to improve your child's diet, and she will be talking about breastfeeding and transitioning to solids.
Chef V would also be here, and of course we're going to have a recipe from him. I'm looking forward to what we have today. Granite, fresh granite.
With gari and ice.
Aye.
Some sprinkled milk.
Aye.
Team Definition now is an 8-man ensemble of individual professional artists and performers, and they'll be joining us via Skype to discuss with us what's new with them. I'm definitely going to be checking them out.
Well, I should have seen me. I could just stay with my baba. It's my Valentine. Yeah, so you know, I said I go. Are you kidding me? Oh no, sister.
See. I can stand the faces of those crooked politicians.
Don't say that.
I don't even like any one of them.
Stop! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my goodness! Oh my God! So how do we move this country forward? I don't care. Yes, you do. Whether you like it or not.
That was amazing.
I hope you are going to sing this one.
They better do. They better do. I was really
Please, what's our plan for Team Definition? If they are going to come here and talk, we don't want to talk.
Don't talk, please. Whether you like it or not.
We're none of talk. We'll be talking since they want to. That was electric.
Really lovely, yeah. And it's like a story. Do you get no, because I was following.
It was not just the voice. Also, I'm sure that maybe because of where they were, if they had to perform it on stage, of course, they would need costumes and all of that, and try to bring it out with drama and all of that. And
talent.
I catch you. That's one other thing I also miss about the lockdown period, which is, of course, apart from going to the theater to watch people, live stage, action. It has this catch and this feel.
Yeah, but funny, I don't know if I'm the only one. Let me know if you feel the way I've been feeling. Like, the lockdown I've gotten used to it. Like, it doesn't even feel weird anymore. Like, staying at home just feels normal. Like, even as they've eased the lockdown, like, if I need something, I have to make sure that, like, tomatoes now, my tomatoes the last one has to finish before I see the need to go out.
Before you see the need to go out,
like, do I really, can't I use tomato paste? Do I have to use fresh tomatoes? Let me know if you're also experiencing what I'm feeling. If you've gotten so used to the lockdown, use the hashtag #WakeUpNigeria on TVC. And those of you that are calling out my hair, in your face.
All right, we have to get to the news now, and a lot of people have been looking for Ibrahim, and they want Ibrahim to be here much earlier.
Looking for Ibrahim.
Well, he's here, and he can tell us where he's been.
As long as it's not coronavirus that is looking for me, I think I'm fine with that. Let people keep looking for me. And Tope, it's a nice, is it traditional hair that you're wearing?
It's African.
African. The Africanism in that.
Yeah.
I love that. Nigeria reported 242 new cases of coronavirus overnight, pushing the country's total number of cases to 4,641. Of the 242 new cases, Lagos once again recorded the highest number with 88 cases, followed by Kano with 64. Katsina has 49, Kaduna 13, Ogun 9, Gombe 6, Adamawa 4. Abuja has 3, while Ondo, Oyo, Rivers, Zamfara, Borno, and Bauchi all recorded 1 case each. So far, 902 patients cured of the virus have been discharged, while the country has recorded 150 deaths. And Kano government has extended the state lockdown order by 1 week. The extension, according to the government, was to help further combat the spread of the novel coronavirus pandemic. The State Commissioner for Information, Mohammed Garba, made the announcement in a statement made available to TVC News. The Information Commissioner says the decision was reached after consulting the federal government and other key stakeholders in the health sector. Mohammed Garba added that the measure is aimed at further reducing indiscriminate person-to-person contact, which is considered as one of the major ways of spreading the disease. A statement, while acknowledging the consequences of the measure in the public, called for patience and support as the battle against the pandemic continues. And more than 4 months after a pandemic that has no cure yet, many countries are seeking quick steps that can flatten the very rising curve. Nigeria is not left out. The Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 has confirmed news reports that the country will soon take delivery of the herbal cure for coronavirus from Madagascar to test its efficacy. But there is an express instruction from President Muhammad Buhari to thoroughly test this herbal medicine that is reported to have cured many confirmed cases of the coronavirus in the island country. This might have raised the hopes of many patients in isolation centers across the country. There are currently 21 functioning testing labs across the country, but fewer bed spaces to take in confirmed positive cases detected in these molecular laboratories. The Presidential Task Force have now asked governors to take advantage of donations by the Conference of Catholic Bishops and all other goodwill donation pouring in to support the national response plan to COVID-19. Health authorities say the priority for now in the efforts to flatten the curve of transmission should be prevention, detection, and care. There was also a strong warning from the Presidential Task Force to patients who have become hostile and attack health workers in the line of duty. In the coming weeks, as a gradual and phased easing of the lockdown progress, there will be an introduction of inclusive policies that recognizes the role of community ownership, guidance, acceptance, and implementation. And Ondo State has recorded its first death from COVID-19 pandemic. Governor Rotimi Akeredolu announced this during his weekly press briefing held at the Government House in Akure. The State Commissioner for Health set the ball rolling at this briefing by breaking the news of the death of a COVID-19 patient. He also gave the breakdown of the cases and the efforts of the government to curb the spread of the disease. Governor Rotimi Akeredolu, on his part, described the death of COVID-19 patients as painful. 3 suspected killers of Olufunke Olakunrin, who had tested positive to COVID-19, have been at the State Infectious Disease Hospital. Now the governor directed authorities of the correctional center in the state to take custody of them. He said this must be done in line with the court order. He also stressed that anybody caught flouting the COVID-19 containment directives will be tried at a mobile court. And as the news update for this hour.
Welcome back. We're going to be having the second look at the headlines in the papers this morning. Today is Tuesday, 12th of May. I'll be starting with the Punch, and we have Madagascar drug, COVID organic, to be used when confirmed safe, working, says PTF. Federal government, WHO carrying out drug trials in FCT, Lagos, Kano, and others. NCDC asks private laboratories to test suspected Nigerians free. There's a photo story here showing offenders whose vehicles were impounded for violating the lockdown order of the Lagos State government during their persecution at Lagos State Task Force office at Oshodi in Lagos on Monday. Agency intercepts trucks with 30 almajiri in Ogun State. Court orders for future of ex-presidential fleet commanders 510 million naira. Osibanjo now chairs our group association of short people, says El Rufai. 4 to die by hanging for murder in Ekiti. Air Force men led hoodlums to demolish Lagos buildings. We've no court order to release Oji Kalu, says NCOS. At the top of the paper, we have federal government sets up panel to revive Ajaokuta steel plant. You can see that on page 19. COVID-19 will worsen Nigeria's debt situation, says NESG. Reps set modalities for NCDC bill public hearing. And lastly, we have Egbin, 10 power plants suffer gas shortage. This and more in the Punch newspaper today. Moving on to the Nation newspaper, we have WHO to begin drug trials in Lagos, Ogun, FCT, and others. A photo story here showing sympathizers at the scene of a burning petrol station at Elebu in Ibadan yesterday. Buhari OK's collection of Madagascar's cure drug. Minister, island nation's herbal drug plant in Nigeria. Moving to the top of the paper, we have 7 billion naira fraud conviction, no release order for Kalu. Convert Catholic hospitals, others to isolation centers. Finally, we have why employers must get stimulus by NLC, TUC, give job priority. You can see this and more in the Nation newspaper today. Moving on to Vanguard, we have COVID-19. Federal government okays 5 states for FCT for WHO's clinical trials. Warns patients against attacking health workers. To subject Madagascar's cure to analysis, over 27,000 tests conducted so far. We are not aware, but clinical trial is a normal process, says NMA president. Lagos records 88 new cases as confirmed cases rise to 4,641. A photo story here of social distancing violation. Customers struggle to access banking hall for transactions at Iju, Lagos branch of a bank yesterday. At the bottom of the paper, we have Ganduje blasts critics of Kano lockdown relaxation. Ex-Benue federal lawmaker tests positive to COVID-19. Otom to undergo second test for virus. Moving to the top of the paper, we have Lagos doctor tests positive for COVID-19 in Osun as Ondo records first casualty. Why I sold my baby for 130,000 naira, says an orphan. We haven't issued 5G licenses, says NCC. Why we are still holding Kalu prison service. Wike demolished hotel owner in war of words. This and more in Vanguard newspaper today. Moving on to this day, we have COVID-19. Buhari directs validation of Madagascar herbal mixture efficacy. Madagascar claims 55 patients recovered after treatment with COVID organics. 242 new cases bring tally to 4,641, with 902 discharged and 150 dead. Federal government begins WHO clinical trial in FCT, Lagos, 4 other states. This day, Dome COVID-19 testing, tracing, treatment center to be inaugurated today. A photo story showing ministers at work. Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Mrs. Zainab Ahmed, and the Minister of State, Prince Clem Agba, during a meeting of the Economic Sustainability Committee in Abuja. At the top of the paper, we have AMCON's recoveries from debtors rise to 1.1 trillion naira. You can see this and more in this day newspaper today. Moving to Nigerian Tribune, we have, we will vigorously monitor use of $3.4 billion IMF loan, COVID-19 donations. To hold a 2-day public hearing on infectious disease bill, CSOs call for probe of alleged diversion of palliatives, conditional cash transfer. Amotekun, Lagos Assembly passes neighborhood safety core bill into law. Ekiti Assembly confirms board chairman, commander and others. Troops kill 17 bandits in Kaduna. Alleged fraud, court orders for forfeiture of 150 million naira belonging to AVM Ebong. A photo story here showing traffic at Idumota, Lagos State on Monday. At the bottom of the paper, we have COVID-19. Nigeria to analyze Madagascar syrup for local use. Says patients' threats to health workers' lives worrisome. We have tested 27,078, says Minister. Lagos, Sokoto, Ekiti, Kano discharge 45. Catholic Church offers 425 hospitals as isolation centers. At the top of the paper, we have no 5G licenses issued yet, says NLC. We also have Afe Babalola offers 15-point prescription for resumption of schools. Pandemonium in Abuja as policeman kills 52-year-old businessman. CP orders detention of killer cop. Finally, we have NHRC releases human rights violation report, alleges 11 extrajudicial killing. You can see this and more in Nigerian Tribune today. And finally, we have Daily Trust. Buhari orders importation of Madagascar's COVID-19 herb. It'll go through validation process, says PTF. Plant grows in Nigeria. Lists Lagos, FCT, Ogun, Kaduna, Sokoto, Kano for WHO drug trial. NAFDAC approval key, says NMA. A photo story here showing firemen battle to put out a fire at a burning petrol station at Elebu in Ibadan yesterday. At the bottom of the paper, we have Daily Trust editor-in-chief loses father. NESG forecasts 4.1% GDP rate decline for Nigeria. Fighting conflicts and coronavirus in Nigeria's Borno. We also have how Abuja-Kaduna expressway gridlock is becoming driver's nightmare. COVID-19 patients threatening health workers' lives at isolation centers, says federal government. You can see this and more in Daily Trust newspaper today. Well, that's it on the covers of the papers this morning in teenagers. Good morning, Miss Clara.
Good morning, and thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks for joining us. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you.
How have you been holding up during this period?
Well, we are all here, and we're still here. And I know we are going to be here for a long, long, long while.
Yeah, well, hopefully we get out of it sooner than we expect.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so let's delve into the topic for today, peer pressure in teenagers. This is very important because at every point in our lives, each one of us has experienced this. And how do we manage this at this point in time that peer pressure is really on the increase among teenagers?
Oh, brilliant. And let me just first and foremost, just say a simple thing with what peer pressure is. In a simple word, it's a feeling that one must do the same thing as other people of one's age and social group in order to be liked or respected. Like you said, we go through all sorts of pressure. We have pressure as adults, we have pressure as teenagers. But let me just talk on the teenage pressure. When we talk about pressure, the first thing that comes to mind, it must be negative. But sometimes there's positive pressure. As a matter of fact, there's positive pressure.
Yeah.
So what happens, why we dwell and it looks as if it's negative is because these are teenagers and they're still trying to find their bearings.
Yes.
And if we don't channel their energy to the positive, something bad that may be positive in effect may happen later. So, but we have all sorts of pressures. I'm just going to mention some type of pressure we have, especially among teenagers. We have the unspoken pressure. That is a particular group or particular set of individuals, we decide to ostracize a particular person because it doesn't seem to be speaking their language. They just leave it. Don't talk to him. Well, you are not our friends again. So with that, the person is feeling, okay, what should I do now to belong, to be liked, to be accepted? That is unspoken or silent treatment. The next one is negative peer pressure, which we are all on our guard as parents. We're always, pressure, it must be negative. Oh, they are going to influence my child to start drinking. They are going to do this. They are going to do that. That is there as well. And the other one is positive peer pressure. I tell teenagers, I said, look, if you are going through some form of pressure from someone and you already sense that it's negative, come up with your own positive peer pressure. For instance, an example of positive pressure is if a teenager belongs to a group where you have people who are voracious readers. They like to read, they like to research, and they influence that particular teenager to be able to read and influence and be well informed. It's a form of pressure, but it's good. It's positive.
Yes.
So what I'm trying to say in essence is not all pressures that are negative, but we really have to be on our guard to on the lookout for the negative ones.
Yeah.
And you cannot let down your guard as a parent. You have to constantly be on your toes to see, because the signs will be there. For instance, a teenager that is being bullied will be withdrawn, will not want to meet your gaze, and all that and all that. Maybe they are trying to put pressure to say, you have to join us on drinking spree. If not, you are no longer going to be our friend. Then the teenager begins to withdraw and be in her shell or his shell. So it's for you parents to pick up these little signals and work on them. And the first thing you need to do, that the major hurdle you need to cross as a parent of teenager, is that you have to be their friends. They have to be free with you. Yes. They have to be able to talk with you.
Very true.
If you are not their friends and they can't talk with you, it's so sad. I teach teenagers, and you need to hear the things they tell me. And when I say to them, please, can we approach your mom to discuss this thing? And they shout and scream. I say, if you tell my parents, I'm no longer going to talk to you.
Yeah.
You're your parents. Parents, you should be the first place, because the home is supposed to be able to nurture a child in such a way. You know, the thing I hear from teenagers all the time is that they don't trust me, they don't respect me, my mommy does not like me, my mommy does not respect me, my mommy does not listen.
Okay.
My daddy, he's a write-off, he's only to come sit in front of TV and all that. You have to win their confidence that, look, come, you can talk to me. Talk to me, whatever it is. No matter how palatable the situation or the scenario is, please talk to me. I'll be there. I'm not going to judge you. Until we move that past that one, there will be a problem. And the teenagers will continue to get into trouble. You know, it is better to prevent an accident than to nurture a wound. It will cost so much. Just be able to follow up this thing. And everything will just be fine. With I have just discussed the types of pressure.
Yeah. Thank you very much for that. Very good thing that you actually emphasize that there's also good pressure, because most times we just emphasize bad pressure. Thank you so much for sparing some of your time for us this morning.
And the aftermath, the negative part, the effect of negative pressure is that the child suffers from poor self-esteem.
And sadly, we're going to have to address the negative pressure next time we have you on the show, because we'll have to wrap up this segment now. All right then. Well, I'm sure we've learned a thing or two from peer pressure on the negative and positive side. We've come to the end of the second hour. We'll be going on a break. When we come back, Wake Up Nigeria continues. Well, this is the time of the show that makes me feel just a little bit sad because we have just 45 minutes left, but
that's relative. No, something can be someone sad, I can make another person happy.
Wow.
I'm just saying. Hey, but come on, we're going to make the best, of course, of 3/4 of an hour of an hour that we have left with you. Every second, of course, counts on the show that is specially designed for you.
Yes, relentless and breathtaking is the best way to describe what we have in store for you.
My name is Mike Mesikenor.
And I am Tope Olowoniyan. Stream with us live at tvcentertainment.tv and on Facebook at TVC Connect.
We also need your comments. They've been coming in. Use the hashtag Wake Up Nigeria on TVC.
You're going to insult my hair. Don't comment. Just be scrolling through, please. Now, have you downloaded our app? If you haven't, come on. What are you waiting for? Download it free on both Android and iOS stores. Now, it allows you to watch us from anywhere in the world as long as you have internet connection.
Bocelli singing Amazing Grace in, I can't remember the cathedral now, but the famous tenor, I remember about the most famous tenor now in Italy. So he sang just in the midst of the pandemic. He sang Amazing Grace. And Bocelli, it was wonderful. It was wonderful. It was wonderful. Sang Amazing Grace, and they took shots of landmarks of different countries, you know. So. Yeah. You know, and it was just amazing.
I'll do my own.
It was cool. It was cool. You do your own.
Will you support me?
What do you want to sing?
Amazing Grace. Now it's not the same thing.
Amazing Grace.
You see? You see?
Yeah, I'm singing that. Sing your own. Bring her. Come up.
Is it own. Amazing Grace? Is it a song? Is it not Amazing Grace?
I know you're singing so now. Sing another one now.
I'll sing.
Maybe you can bring another one now.
You just give my mind. Where's it?
Yeah, so different genre, yeah, the one that, you know, just a different genre, the one that people can feel. But yeah, you know, I wonder about artists also who maybe quite a lot of their revenue comes from stage concerts and all of that. Well, we've had virtual concerts happening now, and they will start happening more often.
Yeah,
they'll start happening more often. Sometimes we can have a lineup of artists, and we just sit back at home, and they have a stage set up. They maintain social distancing where they are. They have a kind of limited number at any point in time. I will just chill at home and enjoy the concert.
Enjoy the concert.
It will happen.
Very true.
It will happen.
If there's anything I'm so excited about is the fact that, you know, sometimes someone want to have a meeting with you, and then you'll be like, oh, could you just do an email? And they're like, oh no, so I need to see you to discuss. And then because you also need the contract, or you need the job, or you need whatever it is, you have to politely go there, even though you do not want to. But now, Sister Rona has let you all know that you're going to send that email. You will send that email.
Or you can Zoom or Skype it or whatever. You know, and have it. I think now more than ever, we have to have so in some countries where you have a particular speed of data is free for everyone. Data is something that shouldn't be hard to access for anybody. In a developed country, you know, it should be something that is easily accessible. It should be cheap because look, it's the fiber, it's lifeline. Now someone said, data is life. That is what it's becoming at this point in time. Everything will be driven by data. 4G, 5G, 6G, 10G, 7G.
All the Gs.
Now there's no talk about 5G. Okay, but then we have to head to the news now. Ibrahim is on standby.
With the 12G.
Thank God you quickly realized that you're not supposed to mention 5G. So when you're saying 1G, 2G, just jump to 7G. 4, 7, 8, 9. Mention 5, you're in trouble. Nigeria reported 242 new cases of coronavirus overnight, pushing the country's total number of cases to 4,641. Of the 242 new cases, Lagos once again recorded the highest number with 88 cases, followed by Kano with 64. Katsina has 49, Kaduna 13, Ogun 9, Gombe 6, Adama 4. Abuja has 3, while Ondo, Oyo, Rivers, Zamfara, Borno and Bauchi all recorded 1 case each. So far, 902 patients cured of the virus have been discharged, while the country has recorded 150 deaths. And Kano government has extended the state lockdown order by 1 week. The extension, according to the government, was to help further combat the spread of the novel COVID-19 pandemic. The State Commissioner for Information, Mohammed Garba, made the announcement in a statement made available to TVC News. The Information Commissioner says the decision was reached after consulting the federal government and other key stakeholders in the health sector. Mohammed Garba added that the measure is aimed at further reducing indiscriminate person-to-person contact, which is considered as one of the major ways of spreading the disease. The statement, while acknowledging the consequences of the measure on the public, called for patience and support as the battle against the pandemic continues. And more than 4 months after a pandemic that has no cure yet, many countries are seeking quick steps that can flatten the ever rising curve. Nigeria is not left out. The Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 has confirmed news reports that the country will soon take delivery of the herbal cure for coronavirus from Madagascar to test its efficacy. But there is an express instruction for President Muhammad Buhari to thoroughly test this herbal medicine that is reported to have cured many confirmed cases in the country, in the island country. This might have raised the hopes of many patients in isolation centers across the country. There are currently 21 functioning testing labs across the country, but fewer bed spaces to take in confirmed positive cases detected in these molecular laboratories. The Presidential Task Force have now asked governors to take advantage of donations by the Conference of Catholic Bishops and all other goodwill donation pouring in to support the National Response Plan to Coronavirus. Health authorities say the priority for now in the efforts to flatten the curve of transmission should be prevention, detection, and care. There was also a strong warning from the Presidential Task Force to patients who have become hostile and attack health workers in the line of duty. In the coming weeks, as the gradual and phased easing of the lockdown progresses, there will be an introduction of inclusive policies that recognizes the role of community ownership, guidance, acceptance, and implementation. And Ondo State has recorded its first death from COVID-19 pandemic. Governor Rotimi Akeredolu announced this during his weekly press briefing held at the Government House in Akure. The State Commissioner for Health set the ball rolling at this briefing by breaking the news of the death of a patient. He also gave the breakdown of the cases and efforts of the government to curb the spread of the disease. Governor Rotimi Akeredolu, on his part, described the death of the COVID-19 patient as painful. 3 suspected killers of Olufunke Olakore, who have tested positive to COVID-19, have been at the isolation center, the infectious disease hospital. Now the governor directed authorities of the correctional center in the state to take custody of them. He said this must be done in line with the court order. He stressed that anybody caught flouting the COVID-19 containment directives will be tried at a mobile court. And as the news this time, Wake Up Nigeria by now.
Moving on, we have Ifeyinwa Omesiete. She's a certified nutritionist and she creates and introduces innovative recipes to improve a child's diet, and also consults at various hospitals for children of all ages where she treats medical and dietary ailments. She will be talking about breastfeeding and transitioning to solids as she joins us via Skype. Good morning, Ifeyinwa.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you doing this morning?
Doing great, doing great.
Have you been holding up during the lockdown?
Pretty good. Just trying to keep busy, stay busy. Lots of moms and parents to help out with their kids.
Oh, great, great. So let's delve into our topic for today. I'm transitioning from breastfeeding to solids. What do you have for us on that?
Right. Okay, so I think one of the biggest concerns a lot of parents have, or where they develop the term picky eating, is when you start off coming off breast milk to moving on to solids. I think one of the biggest mistakes people make is that they think it's going to be an easy transition, or that it's supposed to just happen. Feeding is a learned skill. Yes, it's supposed to be innate, but you actually have to encourage and teach a child how to eat, especially if they've been on an all-liquid diet. and then you're trying to get them to eat like semi-solids or
Yes.
solids moving forward. So one of the things I always suggest to parents is that they need to relax and sort of put themselves in the shoes of the child they're trying to feed.
Yes.
What were the circumstances surrounding breastfeeding? Were you only doing breastfeeding from the breast? Were you offering the bottle? Because sometimes when you offer the bottle, you sort of encourage a sense of independence to the child.
Yes.
Secondly, was it only the mom always with the child? Was there help surrounding her? Did she get an opportunity to go out and do other things and let someone else take care of the child? This is also important in the transition process because a lot of children get very clingy. And so
Yeah.
when you want to move to solids, they are not interested whatsoever because all they've known is either their mother's comfort or their mother's breast milk. So I think
Yeah.
it's really important that the circumstances surrounding breastfeeding are understood before you even begin thinking about introducing solids.
Okay, so talking about the circumstances surrounding breast transitioning, what are the circumstances that parents should focus on in the process of transitioning to solids?
So one of the things you want to do is you want to start early. It's always recommended to start transitioning to solids from about 6 months. So that's important. You want to start from about 6 months.
Okay.
And then when you want to transition, make sure the food that you're transitioning with is easy to absorb and digest. So
Okay.
things like pap are really, really good because they're made out of fermented grains, which are excellent for the gut, excellent for easy absorption.
Yeah.
You want to do simple things, kind of like apple purees, where you peel off the back, steam the apples a little bit and blend. Carrots are also fantastic, sweet potatoes. Our local soups, so things like okra,
Yeah.
ewedu,
Oh,
ogbono,
okay.
those are fantastic for moving on from breast milk to solid.
Yeah.
Now, salt is something you want to be extremely careful about. You don't want to go adding salt to food that you're giving a 6-month-old or a 7-month-old or an 8-month-old.
Of course.
We usually recommend you start from about 1 year. And then, like
Okay.
I said, take it easy with the child. They're moving from, a completely liquid diet to all solids. So you kind of want to make sure that if they only agree to take a few spoons, that's okay, Recommended between 4 to 8 tablespoons is what is ideal per meal. So
Yeah.
if you go above that, great. If you don't get up to 8, if you do only 4 or 3, that's also fine. It's a win situation for you, especially if the child is just starting.
Okay. Now, for mothers who like to do exclusive breastfeeding for a period of time, are you saying that 6 months is the best time to start to transition from breast milk to solid, or it just depends on you as the mom?
So best time is 6 months, but if you want to go ahead and start later, that's completely fine, especially if you've exclusively breastfed. I've noticed over time and with experience that moms who exclusively breastfeed tend to have a better chance at moving on to solids, mainly because in your breast milk, if you're eating a very balanced diet, a lot of the foods that you eat, you
Yeah.
get somewhere between about 0 to about 1% of that food in the breast milk. So the child actually gets 1% of that food in the breast milk. So the child actually gets to taste it. So the more vegetables you eat, the more inclined the child is to accept vegetables when you start introducing them. The more fibers and healthy carbs and healthy fats you incorporate into your diet while you're breastfeeding also encourages that child to move on to solids when you eventually start. But I always recommend that you start just at about 6 months because the sooner you start, the earlier it is with all the struggles, the trials, the errors, because you're going to have a lot of that, a lot of trials,
Yeah.
a lot of errors, a lot of frustration, which I think a lot of parents need to prepare themselves for. It's not a walk in the park, it's
Yeah.
work. Feeding a child who's just starting solids is work. So when you mentally prepare for the journey, it makes it easier to cope with. But I always recommend starting at 6 months.
Okay. So what is the downside, or are there any downsides to delays in transitioning to solids, or does it just have good sides? So for example, a mom decides not to
Yes.
breastfeed, not to transition until her child is like a year plus. Is there any downsides to that?
Yes, there's a lot of downsides to that.
Okay.
One, the child is going to be nutritionally deficient. After about 6 months to about a year, breast milk is not sufficient enough as a nutrient source. So, for
Okay.
example, you will not have enough calcium, You will not have enough iron in the diet, so things like iron deficiency, anemia will begin to set in. Also, when you only breastfeed, you don't develop something we call the thrust reflux, which essentially is how you encourage swallowing. So all that you experience when you breastfeed doesn't encourage proper swallowing and, causing the esophagus to begin the process of trying to digest foods that are a little bulkier. So you put the child at risk of that. And then also you just have a delay in terms of development because they're not going to get all the vital nutrients that they would get from certain kinds of solid foods. So I really do encourage people to start, from 6 months, 7 months, at the latest even 8 months. But once you start getting to 9 months, you're getting to a more independent child who's now wanting to, try crawling, try to hold on to stuff. So, really starting early really does make it easier on the journey and also provide certain nutrients for the child.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ifeyinwa. I am sure mothers out there and mothers who are trying to transition their babies have learned a thing or two from you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
All right, then. Have a great day. All right, then. I'm sure for our mothers and parents viewing have learned a thing or two on how best it is to transition your child from breast milk to solid. We'll go on a break. When we come back, Wake Up Nigeria continues. Don't go anywhere. Team Definition now is an 8-man ensemble of individual professional artists and performers. They work on projects under different Definition studios, and in 2017 they released their debut album titled Closer. Guess what? We're talking to them via Skype. Good morning. Hello, good morning. Oh, while we're waiting to connect with them, Mike, you have seen a couple of their works, haven't you?
Yes, wonderful group, I must say.
Yeah.
And especially the one that we saw here. Maybe while I wait for them, we can see that video.
We could probably see that video.
Yeah,
while
some
we're
of those
waiting
videos and all of that. Those guys are marvelous. And, using what you have, I used to sing,
Oh, my days.
What are you saying? I was a choir master in secondary school. This one is fact. This one is not a joke.
Please, have you noticed that when you say you were something, I'll be asking your classmates to come and defend you. They don't used to come.
I'm serious, I am. So Definition, at any time, whenever you can hear us, just popping. Just let us know, just popping. I used to sing like, if I call.
Before Mike keeps like, can we watch a video?
No, while the video is ready, to just play while here with you.
They should take us away from this your life. They should take us away.
No, this one is not a lie. I was a choir master. This one was not a choir master. It's not a lie.
Sing on that key.
What do you do?
I played the keyboard.
What
Sing
keyboard?
on that key. Key G. Ping.
Key G, is it key Gary or what? Key G. The way they're singing is making me hungrier.
Oh my days, I was going to say, I have goosebumps.
Hey, goosebumps needs energy to show goosebumps.
Please, you people, ignore Mike this morning. This pounded yam that he has been craving since morning.
Hello, Team Definition. Hello, Team Definition.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's good to hear from you.
How many of you guys are there?
There are 5 of us here.
5.
5. Okay. Can you just let us know your names? We just saw this awesome video, but let's just know who we're talking to. Let's just know the names of those we're talking to.
Okay. So this is Jodine, Ayanu,
Alicia,
Jack, and
Jack.
Eden.
Oh, okay.
Wonderful. This is going to be an interesting interview. Now, how have you guys been able, now during this lockdown period, I know you have still been, you've still been doing things with your talent. How have you been able to, move into these times where you don't have to go somewhere physically for a performance and all of that? Have you guys ever done a virtual performance during this time? How do you keep up with your talent? How are you holding up during this period?
Well, we're doing the best by, first of all, responding to what's going on and seeing the need to just let the music go on. The music shouldn't stop. So we do have some opportunities to do something virtual. We can't go out, but we just writing songs and putting stuff together to just help people cope and keep them entertained.
I'd like to know, way before this, how did you all discover each other and how did Definition start?
Oh, goodness. That's a long story. Where do we start?
Just give us a brief summary.
It's, we started a couple of years ago, about 8 years ago, and at different times we met with the producer, Zach, and we walked into the studio one after the other at different times, and just like that, pop.
Okay, we know you guys have done a lot. You've done songs towards nation building and all of that.
Yeah.
What are you guys working on now? You said you've been working on stuff. What are we to expect? Maybe after this lockdown and everything is probably back to some semblance of normality. What are we to look forward to from Team Definition?
Okay, so we're doing something presently to help people cope with the coronavirus. We have a special coronavirus prayer song. But also, we're still on nation building. We're reworking on anthems of states and of course, Nigeria, and a plethora of other work. Yeah.
For what you've done, how can we access it? Is it available online? Where do we get in touch with it? I mean, some of these are lovely videos and songs. How can we access them?
We're on YouTube, first of all, so you can easily go there. But we have our work in iTunes and on digital stores. So teamdefinition.com is a website, so you can check them. We have our stuff there, yeah.
So has Team Definition ever had a standalone concert?
Just our launch, album launch, and we once had a program with Carol.
Okay.
Years back, yeah. So just that.
Okay.
But we're planning big on that.
What are the plans for Team Definition post-COVID?
We had something like that in London as well. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yes. So yeah, it was totally our thing. Yeah.
Okay. So what are the plans for Team Definition post-COVID? So by the grace of God, the whole COVID era passes. What are the plans? Are we expecting any live performances?
Oh, definitely. Live performances, tours. We're hoping to do some tours, and since Nigeria's going to be 60 this year, we're hoping to do some big stuff around that.
Okay. Now, just before, I'd like you guys to do something an a cappella for us. Just before you do that, you made mention about helping people cope during this COVID period. What is the nucleus? What is the center of your message during this period? What is that? What are you trying to pass out? In what way are you giving that hope to people? What's the message?
So the biggest problem that this pandemic has brought to people is fear. We never knew we were this afraid. So we're trying to let people understand that fear is not necessarily stronger than this. And we hope that people will heal. Healing will come to them, and that's fast. And that there's life after this. We should just choose to live. Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's no way we can let you go without you giving us a quick live rendition. We would love to hear you all perform for us live.
Okay.
Just something interesting. Maybe what you prepared for COVID.
Yes. This is around COVID.
Okay.
The coronavirus prayer. Heal those that sick with the virus with your healing love. Heal us from fear, which prevents the nation from working together, and neighbors from helping one another. I call on you, Rapper, the great physician. Please come to fear, wipe the tears. Be with the families of those who were sick or have died, as they worry and grieve. May they know your peace. Come to our aid now. Have mercy.
Thank you so much, Hi Team Definition. That was an amazing performance. We cannot wait to have you live.
Exactly.
On
In
set.
fact, Team Definition, you're going to have to make a promise to us that you're going to be one of our first guests when this lockdown period is over and we can accept guests. You still there?
We'll love that.
Are we getting?
Yes.
Let's get that. Do we have your word?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Oh, great.
Thank you.
We look
Thank
forward to that.
It's
Thank
written
you.
in concrete, yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, guys. Okay, so that's it. That's it. We've come to the end. All good things have to come to an end.
Yes, so Mike can go and eat his pounded yam.
No, there's no pounded yam. Okay, no, later. There's pounded yam and egusi soup today.
It's been an amazing time. Remember to join us tomorrow morning, same time, 6 a.m. to 8:45 for another amazing dose of your best premium breakfast show. Wake up, Nigeria. We love you. Mwah. Wow.